What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Pro-Spects channel. Before we start with today's video, I just want to say thank you all for tuning in, and please drop a like. It helps the channel grow. Today, we're going to be switching it up a little bit. Instead of talking about a cornerback prospect individually, we're doing my top 10 corners. Starting at number 10, we're going to work our way down to who I think is the number one corner in the draft class. I hope you all enjoy, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Starting off at number 10, I have Renardo Green from Florida State. This is probably a little bit of a shock if you've kept up with a decent number of the prospects in the draft this year, but as you'll come to find out, I have a soft spot for ultra aggressive press man corners. Green is one of the two Florida State corners in this year's draft, and I think he's an absolute stud that a team's going to be able to find on day two of the draft. He's got about an average build height wise and athletically, but I think he plays faster than what he showed at the combine this year. This last season at Florida State, Green had 43 tackles, 1 interception, and 12 pass breakups, with his best game probably coming against LSU when he faced off against probable first rounders in both Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., where he tallied his lone interception and his single pass deflection. Green is one of the best press man corners in this draft. He's explosive and twitchy, but lacks top end speed, which isn't necessarily a bad thing when you see how physical and tough he is at the line of scrimmage. He's aggressive in the run game and is willing to come up and make big tackles and fight through blocks. The big knock on him, though, is that he struggles with the deep ball. His limited speed lets him get stacked easily by faster receivers, and he struggles with finding the ball in the air. His physical play style will help him out a little bit, but it'll also get him penalized more in the NFL. But that's something I expect to get cleaned up with the right coaching staff around him. Overall, I think Green is a solid corner that can push to start right away as a rookie for most teams in the league, and I expect him to get drafted sometime on day two. Next up at number 9, I have Kalen Carson from Wake Forest. Kalen is a fairly popular name in the class this year and had a solid 2023 campaign. He had 42 tackles, 1 forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and 8 pass deflections. His best game was probably against Florida State, where he played both Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson, who are both expected to be drafted as well this year. He had 2 pass breakups in that game. Kalen has the prototypical length of an NFL corner, and he plays strong. He's another press man type of corner and is very comfortable playing zone as well. He has great route recognition ability and sees the field very well. He's aggressive and physical with both receivers trying to catch the ball and while making plays in the run game. What brings his draft stock down is his injury history. In both 2021 and 2022, he's missed extensive time due to multiple different leg injuries, something that's not ideal for a corner. He also struggles finding the ball in the air when he's running deep downfield, which can get him beat for big chunk plays. Overall, as long as he stays healthy, Carson has a good potential to be a starting caliber corner in the NFL. Up next at number 8 is Iowa State's TJ Tampa. TJ has steadily been placed in the top 10 corners for a few months now, and he's a really interesting prospect. He's got a really long and lanky build, which is perfect for his play style. He's another physical press corner, and he loves getting his long arms around receivers to poke the ball out of their hands. TJ had a good season for the Iowa State Cyclones, tallying up 44 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 8 pass breakups. His best game, I'd say, came against Oklahoma State, where he had 4 tackles, an interception, and a pass deflection. As stated earlier, TJ is a physical pressman corner. He's very powerful with his jams at the line of scrimmage and has great balance and footwork for running with receivers. TJ isn't the greatest in zone coverage, but has shown the flashes and the awareness to be able to develop and be a good player in that area. TJ loves playing against the run and coming down to make hard and physical hits on ball carriers, though his open field tackling could get better. What brings down his stock is his athletic ability. He's more quick than he is fast and struggles to keep up with faster guys downfield. He also can get exposed by more detailed route runners like you'll see in the NFL more often. Overall, TJ has potential as a player, and the first few corners all can be switched around in any order. I think TJ needs to go to a team that fits his play style and where he can be a depth piece and special teamer before he can hit his ceiling in the later years of his career, but he can be a starter in a pinch. At number 7, I have Missouri's Ennis Rakestraw Jr. Ennis was quiet in the scoreboard for a decent Missouri defense, racking up 35 tackles, a forced fumble, and 4 deflections. Ennis is a highly competitive man coverage corner, and opposing receivers have hard times getting away from him because of exceptional technique at the line of scrimmage and great body control and balance, allowing him to stick with shiftier and craftier receivers. He also has great timing and feel for when to attack a receiver's hands and force incompletions. What makes him better than the last few corners on this list to me, though, is how elite in the run game he is. He fights through blocks with tenacity and delivers linebacker-esque hits on opposing runners. What brings his stock down is his lack of production. Ennis doesn't take the ball away very much, and personally to me, it's because he has more traits of a shutdown corner than a ball hawk corner. He can get handsy at times, which will draw flags in the NFL, and he tore his ACL in 2021. Despite all this, he's still a projected second rounder. I think whichever team picks him will have a potentially elite slot corner due to his run defense, but I can see him being a more than capable outside starter at some point in his rookie. Number 6 brings us to Iowa's Cooper DeJean. Cooper often provided the spark to a struggling Iowa offense from the defensive and special teams side of the ball. In 2023, DeJean had 41 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 5 deflections, along with 241 punt return yards and a touchdown. Cooper is such an interesting prospect because of his versatility and elite athletic ability. He was Iowa's number one corner, but has experience playing safety as well, which is where many think he could easily translate to playing in the NFL. He is a great zone defender with high awareness and great instincts, along with elite ball skills, making him a dangerous defender for opposing offenses. He plays fast and physical, delivering hard hits to pass catchers and ball carriers. Cooper is an amazing athlete, but many don't think it's enough to play outside corner at the next level. His hips aren't fluid enough to let him move around with the receivers at the NFL level, and his other skill sets allow him flexibility to play elsewhere. His build as a corner isn't exactly favorable either. He has a compact frame with shorter than normal arms for corners, which limits how much he can make plays on passes. But overall, Cooper I think will be a star no matter what. I think of him as a corner, but could see him easily being a superstar safety or slot corner for whichever team drafts him in the mid to late first round or early second round. Number 5 is Michigan's Mike Sainristil. Mike was the face and leader of the 2023 National Champions defense, where he had a monster season. He had 44 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 6 interceptions, 2 brought back for touchdowns, and 6 more deflections. It's no secret that Mike has some of the best ball skills in the entire draft, and it's thanks to his background as a former wide receiver. Mike is an explosive athlete who is quick and light on his feet as well as in his mind. He processes information very quickly, allowing him to continually make plays in both man and zone. He's a savvy run defender as well, even for his size. But his size is what I think holds him back the most. If not for his small stature, I think I would have him much higher on this list. He can also work on his man coverage skill set, as he can sometimes get lost from simple head fakes and jukes on the route. I can let this slide though, only because he's played corner for only 2 seasons and seems to have a good hang on it. I think Mike will be a very good player in the NFL for a long time, especially if he gets put at a slot corner position. But I definitely think he has more than enough talent to be a starting outside corner. Mike will be drafted on day 2, and whoever takes him will have a smart player on their hands. Coming in at number 4 is Alabama's Kool-Aid McKinstry. Outside of having one of the best names in the draft, he's one of the most pro-ready corners as well. In 2023, McKinstry wasn't targeted hardly at all. He only had 32 tackles and 7 pass deflections. McKinstry is probably the smartest corner in the draft and plays both man and zone at a very high level. He's excellent at the line of scrimmage while being a very physical player, and he likes to just slide and get in the way of routes and throw off timing, while he scans receivers and gathers as much information as possible. He has great ball skills too. He tracks the ball well on all levels of the field and is even better when playing the receiver instead of the ball. In the run game, Kool-Aid is a more than capable player, but if the play isn't coming to him, don't expect him to run across the field to make a tackle. Something that isn't necessarily a problem, but could be, is that he's an extremely patient player. McKinstry loves to take his time, get in the way, and see what is happening in front of him. But this can result in him getting ran by if he takes too long, and for Kool-Aid being a very limited athlete, this isn't something you want to happen. Kool-Aid's athleticism is the only thing holding him back in my eyes, and he's still being viewed as a prospect that most likely doesn't make it out of round 1. I think if he is in the right system that allows him to have time to read the field, Kool-Aid will be a star. Kicking off the top 3 is Clemson's Nate Wiggins. Wiggins is a phenomenal athlete and is a playmaker. In 2023, he had 28 tackles, 1 sack, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, along with a pick 6, and 6 more pass breakups. Wiggins has a prototypical corner build. He's long, tall, and fast. He has great footwork, allowing him to mirror receivers in man coverage, and great instinct and awareness in zone coverage. He might be the best pure cover corner in the draft. Not many will be able to run by him either, so even when his press isn't as good as it could be, he can catch right back up to anybody that wanted the line. Wiggins may be a big time athlete, but his play strength is an area of concern, as with his size and weight, the NFL level could provide trouble with his availability. Wiggins doesn't stick his nose in the run game either. He will chase down players and make tackles, but he's not the type of player that will take on blocks and hold an edge. Overall, Wiggins has legit cornerback 1 potential. With his combination of athletic ability and coverage skill, there's no reason he couldn't be a top 5 corner in 4 years. All he needs is the right team around him, as most prospects typically do. At runner-up on this list is another Alabama player, Terrion Arnold. Arnold played mostly opposite of Kool-Aid, therefore making him targeted more, and he made teams pay. In 2023, he had 63 tackles, 1 sack, a forced fumble, 5 interceptions, and 12 pass breakups. Arnold is a mauler at the line of scrimmage, and he has a powerful but expertly timed punch to throw receivers off at the best times and throw off routes, and has the footwork and speed to make up for it when he occasionally will get beat. He will be around any ball thrown near him and is aggressive when trying to jam the ball loose. In the run game, he's violent and he will not just fight through blocks but shed them and get after opposing ball carriers. Where Arnold fails a little for me is he can get too aggressive. When he sees something, he goes. Most times, this is a good thing, but he's a young player and needs better eye discipline to better see the play around him. This is something that could take time to develop and is pretty important, which is why he falls just short of the top spot on this list. But overall, in competition with Nate Wiggins, Terrion Arnold could be the best pure coverage player in the draft. He's raw and a little undisciplined, but it's nothing that can't be fixed over time. He oozes with talent and has a chance to be the first corner off the board in round one. And that brings us to who I think is the best corner in the draft, Toledo's Quinion Mitchell. While Mitchell did play at a smaller school and face a different level of competition, he still put up good numbers in 2023, with 41 tackles, 1 interception, and 18 pass breakups. Mitchell is a potential world-class athlete, and it shows on tape. He has a great build for the position with quick feet and solid footwork to match anyone he matches up against. He's aggressive at the catch point, can play any coverage thrown at him, and can tackle and run good enough to even contribute on special teams as a rookie. He can get better at his timing with flipping hips, as he sometimes makes up his mind on a route too early and the receiver runs something different, causing him to be out of position, and he also struggles sometimes with seeing the field. But that's something like with Arnold comes over time. Mitchell has the highest upside in this class, and I think he has a very good chance of being the Rookie of the Year candidate. Between him and Terry and Arnold, he could be the first corner taken on draft night. And that's it. My top 10 corners in the draft. There is a couple guys I could have easily have put on here. It is a deep corner class, and there's some other guys I really like. But I think this group of 10 can all have very solid NFL careers. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.